To get started, I'm going to measure out my orzo, which is just a rice-shaped pasta. You can use any pasta you like, but I like orzo because it's really small and has a great texture. So I'm just gonna measure out a cup right here. Perfect. And into the pot until it's perfectly al dente. So while my pasta is cooking, I'm gonna get started on the rest of my ingredients. The spread I have here is basically the holy trinity of Italian cooking. You have seen this everywhere, even if you didn't know it. Think of a margherita pizza, a caprese salad, a caprese sandwich, mozzarella with basil and tomato. It's just meant to be. So as you can see, these are just the perfect little bites. So I'm just gonna have these. And I'm gonna do this entire container, and that's because I want to get a bite of everything with every forkful. That's the reason why this is such a hearty salad, is it has a lot of different textures and a lot of great chunky ingredients in it. Well, I have my mountain of mini mozzarella, so I'm gonna get started on just slicing these in half and setting them aside. Great, well, now I'm gonna get started on my tomatoes, and because these are a little bit larger, I'm going to quarter them. The idea here is you want everything to be the same size. You don't wanna have a big chunk of mozzarella and just a little bit of tomato. You want it all to be even so you get an equal bite of everything. I'm going to want about the same amount of mozzarella and tomatoes, so just kind of eyeball it if you don't really know exactly what the measurement is. And you know what? I think I'm actually going to eighth these, because if you look at a piece of the mozzarella next to the tomato, you can see that it still needs to get halved because you want it to all be the exact same size. Now I'm going to chiffonade my basil, which is just sort of a fancy way of saying I'm slicing it up. So the trick here is you peel off all the leaves like so, and then I'm going to stack them, roll them up, and slice them. And as you can see, I've sliced these into really fine ribbons, and the idea here is you want the basil to give all the flavor, but not really any of its chewier texture. You don't want to get any leaves stuck in your teeth. This looks like about a half a cup, so I'm starting with this. I can always add more. And I'm pretty sure my orzo is about done, so I'm gonna go drain it. So while my orzo cools, I'm going to get started on my balsamic vinaigrette, which I'm going to be using all day. It's one of those super versatile vinaigrettes that I just love on practically anything. And it's so simple. It's just balsamic vinegar, olive oil, salt, and pepper. And the cool thing here is all you have to remember is one ratio, 1 to 3. And all that means is for every 1 part of vinegar, 3 parts of oil, 1 part acid, 3 parts fat. So you can do this with lemon juice, you can do this with any kind of vinaigrette you like. It's really simple once you have it down. So to start, I'm gonna get my beautiful, super thick, really rich balsamic vinegar. And I'm making a slightly larger batch today because I'm gonna be using it in everything. And now for the olive oil. So if I put in 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, that means 6 tablespoons of the olive oil. And this might look like it's ready to go, but salt and pepper are just as important to vinaigrette as it is to any other ingredient you're using today. So I need to season my vinaigrette. So I'm just gonna put in a little bit of salt, sort of a large pinch, and then some fresh pepper. And I'm just gonna pop the top on, nice and tight because I don't wanna have this all over my face. And then you just shake it, like that. And you can see that it's perfectly emulsified together. You basically want it to all have the same consistency, a really nice sheen, and all the same color. My vinaigrette is done, so I'm just gonna put it all together. So the orzo is perfectly drained and it's cooled down. And the reason why I want it cool is because I don't want the warm orzo to cook the tomatoes. I want my tomatoes to be really fresh and have a great texture to them, so you wanna cool it before you put it in. So I'm just gonna add about 2 tablespoons of my vinaigrette straight into the orzo. And I'm just gonna stir it up. And the reason why I'm adding the vinaigrette straight to the orzo before I add the other ingredients is because the vinaigrette will color the mozzarella and I want that to stay a beautiful white. All right, well this looks just about dressed. So I'm gonna add the other ingredients and just mix them together. So I have my toasted pine nuts, and what I love about these is they just give a beautiful sort of toasted flavor and a great crunchy texture. So now I'm gonna add the rest of my ingredients, and I'm gonna do it in 2 batches because I wanna season it in between. So I'm just gonna season it with a little bit of salt, and now the pepper. I love pepper with anything caprese. Just adds that little bit of a spicy bite. Well, this looks beautiful, but I still have to add the rest of my ingredients. So in they go. And you can see that this pasta salad is just as much about the salad as it is about the pasta. I like having everything in a really nice balance here, so you get all of those different flavors and textures. And once again, just a little more seasoning. So one more big stir through, and don't obliterate it. You just need to give it 1 or 2 passes so everything gets nice and integrated. Well, the only thing left to do is finish it with a drizzle of balsamic vinegar. I love this for just like that last big hit. It's so delicious. Well, let's give it a taste. That's really fresh tasting. You get that beautiful herbaceous hit from the basil. All the balsamic really brings it together. Really delicious.